I asked the pharmacist. No, we can't ship. No ship. And so this other guy that was there was like, just give me your name. Give me your name and your phone number. We'll get it done. I'm like, no way.
I remember talking to the tunnel. I stuffed that so full stuff with the hell.
we are here to call to order the monthly board meeting for the town of Hayward. We are going to start tonight with the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Item 3 on the agenda is approval of the July regular board meeting agenda.
Take a motion to approve it.
I have a motion on the table to approve the July regular board meeting agenda.
I'll second that.
I have a motion and a second to approve the July regular board meeting agenda. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Approved. Number 4, approval of the June regular board meeting minutes.
I have some corrections.
Okay,
On page 1, under D, the final plat review for Legal Organ Aspen Grove, I made a comment that the private road needs to meet the town of Hayward's specs. And the town of Hayward may not accept the road in the future due to the fact that the lot sizes encroach on the road if it were to be. And 5 acres is the requirement for A1 zoning, and each person would have to get a conditional use permit in order to build.
okay, and that's in the future, and again, that's how everything's spelled out right now, going forward. I mean, they know too that this night, as a 5 acre.
I just wanted it in the minutes,
You want your comments in the official minutes to reflect that.
yes.
Okay, I again, looking at everything, I think that's probably unnecessary, but I'll entertain a motion for that.
I'll offer a motion to, or I move that we accept Brenda's comments for the meeting minutes. And Brenda will provide a copy of her words.
Please do that. And then on page 3,
First of all, okay, okay, do we have more corrections to this? Okay, continue then, I guess. Sure.
page 3, under item 5, under Andy spoke the concerns, it just says rezoned as industrial, it should be industrial 1.
That's the planning commission,
Oh,
that's their notes.
oh, that's the italics?
The section you're reading,
Oh,
but it's the planning commission, so I don't type those, so I just take what the planning commission gave.
okay.
We can't change those.
So then I can't change page 3 that Marie Seymour was the one that was here instead of Jesse, okay? Maybe there's other ones I can't. There's a misspelling on page 4, okay?
Did you get a copy of them? I sent my corrections.
I didn't.
I can email this.
I sent a copy of mine.
Okay, then
Jan? Yeah.
that's it.
Okay,
Are we gonna vote on my motion?
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
that's, so we have to have a motion first of all, yeah, to accept, I guess, en masse, all of Brenda's recommendations to change the minutes, or what we can change, I guess, because we said the bank machines can't. So we have a motion on the table to do that.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second to change. Any further discussion on this stuff? Okay, all those in favor of changing the minutes as proposed by Brenda? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Nay. Ayes have it, 4-1. Just think we should, you're right, I mean, again, I think. Okay. And my thing is, I guess we're keep trying to keep some of these brief, and as long as I think the subject and the majority of everything, you know, the essence of what's being said is there. That's, I guess, what I'm looking at, but. Okay, motion carried, so that was the approval of the June regular board meeting minutes with changes. Now we're on number 5, approval of the June 13th special town board meeting minutes. Does anyone have any corrections on that one? adjustments to it. I guess we'll call to a vote. All those in favor of accepting the June 13th minutes? All in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries. Number 5. It's done. Public comment. If anyone in the audience has anything to speak about that is not an item on this agenda, now is the time to do it. And if you do, I please ask that you state your name and address and be respectful, address your comments to the town board, and keep it somewhat brief. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to take this opportunity to speak to the town board? Okay, seeing no hands. Move on to item 7, which is zoning, and item 7A is the CSM. Let's see here. Todd Gould on behalf of the Tremblay family. Now, this is something that went to the planning commission last Wednesday. The property, again, reading from the planning commission notes here too, just to reiterate, the property is zoned R1, but is assessed as A1. Future land use is low density residential. Proponent is seeking to build a private residence on 6.77 acres. It was motioned and seconded by the planning commission to recommend to the town board on July 3rd. So is anyone here a proponent? All right. I guess why don't you stand up and just kind of state your spiel over again like you did at the planning commission, or that you guys did then.
Just trying to get a family house on family land and just trying to have more bedrooms for our kiddos. So.
Does anyone on the board have any questions to it? All right. I put that on the table, I guess. So what does the board like to do with this?
I'll make a motion to approve it.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve item 7A, the CSM for the Tremblays. So by Mr. Gould. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. 7B, Nelson Bateson. Now we have a CSM presented. I got my lots up here in front of me. Presented to divide one lot into 2 lots. Let's see, there are probably lots 1, 2. This is on the Tanglewood Bay area. Existing lots, let's see, there's existing lot, let's say of 5.22 acres, the CSM is proposing 2 lots being divided. Lot 1 would be 3.25 acres and lot 2 being 1.97 acres. And again, just so you guys know, usually our minimum lot requirement for new residential lots in the town of Hayward is 2 acres. And this one's coming in 1.97, but due to it being in the shoreland zoning district, that is under the county's purview, not the town's. So again, usually in a situation like this, we would usually have a 2-acre parcel instead of 1.97, just so you know. So again, this is a correction of lot lines. According to the applicant, in order to get the septic on the lot improvements on the proper lot, the planning commission recommended to the town of Hayward board to approve the CSM on July 3rd. Is anyone here for the applicant? Yes, sir. Can you stand up? And again, most of us are at the planning commission. I guess just to kind of give a brief overview, we're moving lot lines here to accommodate where the septic has been, and now everything's going to be legit within their lot lines. And
Right, they had 2 lots. I'm Pete Nelson with Nelson Surveying, by the way. They had 2 lots. They built their improvements, house, and some of the septic over onto both of the lots, and so this is just to reconfigure to get everything on one lot again and have one totally vacant lot.
all right, anyone have questions for?
I make a motion that we approve the CSM.
I have a motion to approve. I have a motion and a second to approve item 7B, the CSM for the Batesons, done by Mr. Nelson here. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Do you have something that you want us to sign?
I do.
Great. All right, item 7C, we have another CSM. With Jesse Susan for represent the CSM to the 5 parcels. Let's see here. This again, property is zoned A2. There's portion of property being sold to a different owner. Jesse, you here?
Yep.
All right. You just want to give a little spiel of what's going on here for everyone?
Sure. My client is buying the southeast quarter, except a 5-acre parcel that's an existing parcel down in the corner of it, plus this part of the CSM. So my client's buying 30.3 acres, but zoning requested that we do a 1-lot CSM of what the Butterfields are retaining.
Okay. Didn't have any questions for Jesse?
What is the number of acres they're retaining?
11.99 acres.
Anyone else have any questions for Jesse? Thanks, Jesse. All right. Any further discussion on this? All right, put it up. I need a motion to deal with item 7C.
I'll second.
We have a motion to second to approve item 7C, the CSM, done by Mr. Susan for owner Robinson here. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. All right, now we have on our, okay, yep. Thank you. All right, item 7D, this is a land use permit for a shipping container on Chipwood Trail, and the owners are Dustin and, I don't know if I say it right, Alyssa Marotech. Is anyone here for the proponent on this one? Because they were not also present at the planning commission. I believe the planning commission tabled this issue back on July 3rd because no one is there to speak to it. So again, I would be inclined to go along with the planning commission's recommendation of putting it off for another month and letting them deal with it.
I make a motion that we table until the August meeting.
Item 7D with the shipping container, land use permit for the shipping container. We have a motion. We have a motion and a second to table item 7D, the land use permit for the shipping container on Chipwood Trail for Marquez. Any further discussion on this? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion to table carries. All right, 7E, we have a rezone application here. Again, sorry if I mispronounced his last name, is it Friend or Front?
Friend.
Thank you. Mr. Friend, he showed up at the planning commission meeting, and I have to say he had a pretty good presentation, and a lot of detailed stuff. So why don't we start off with you again and just kind of give a brief spiel of kind of what you said at the planning commission. That'd be great.
Yeah, my name's David Friend. Been local in the town, graduated from high school here. Started a business when I was 16, cleaning boats and cars, and I just recently purchased some land out off Highway B on Sheptick Lane, right next to the Big Fish Golf Course. It's a 2.01 acre parcel. It was formerly owned by Doug Potak, and before that it was Rosalie Sheptick. I intend to rezone it commercial and put up a shop to kind of expand my business, as well as some living quarters in the back, which I would intend to move into. The lots adjacent to it, there's an 8-acre parcel right across Sheptick. That's all commercial, owned by Mark and Kathy Helm, as well as there's 11 commercial businesses or commercial parcels that businesses are operated on within 0.75 miles of the property. Kind of within the plan accordance, it's in a centrally located area. It's currently rural trans, but the Plan Commission of Hayward wants to keep commercial areas concentrated, which under my understanding, this would kind of fall into that. It's 0.13 miles off of Highway B. So as far as any kind of excess traffic, not really an issue there, as well as it being on a town road. So that's what I have. I have some signatures from surrounding landowners as well. If the commission or the board would like to see those.
Sure. Does anyone have any questions?
I do have one question, just been niggling in the back of my head.
Yeah.
Are you building a house and
It's
a
one, it'll be
building,
one structure.
one structure with living quarters?
Yes.
Is that,
It is allowed if you are the owner and operator of the building, you can also live in the residence.
okay. Is there a limit to the size of that, or is it a garage?
So it'll be a 64 by 40 footprint. About 40 by 40 will be a shop, and the back half will be living quarters.
And at this point, we're just dealing with the rezone.
I know, I
Okay,
just,
okay, I mean, that could,
Yeah.
is that
no
something
worries.
that's gonna come up in the future, I would imagine?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
does anyone else have any questions?
I don't have any questions, I have a comment. I was looking at, our road ordinance for the town of Hayward and driveway permits. And just to note, as a commercial long driveway, when you do that, there are some special requirements that you
Okay.
might wanna look at
Okay.
to make sure that you can have, trucks can turn around and that kind of thing. So you may wanna look into that when you go for a driving permit.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a printable ordinance offline. It's ordinance 03-2013, and it's on page 6.
03-2013.
Correct, and it's on page 6. Special requirements for driveways serving commercial. Just so you're aware, because you'll be living there.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate that.
Anybody else? All right, and again, looking at the planning commission notes, like he mentioned, it's rural transitional. It is close to where the commercial kind of corridor is. I guess I'll put this up to the board, what the board wants to do, put it on the table and see what the board wants to do with it.
I make a motion that we go for the rezone due to the fact that there's so many businesses in close proximity and that it meets a requirement in many ways that we need. So I think I make a motion to.
Do we have a motion to approve the rezone from residential to commercial?
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second to approve item 7E, rezone application off of Sheptick Road there. Go from residential recreational 1 R1 to C1 commercial 1. Is there any further discussion on this? All right, we'll call to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Here.
Thank you all.
Brenda, what were your reasons for approving?
There's 7 commercial businesses that are nearby and there's a lot of other commercial property. And it fits the purpose of conditional use.
All right. Once that's get on here, we'll go to- All right. Item 7F. Now we have a conditional use permit for T&K Roll-Offs, LLC or LLS. This is off of Highway B, I believe, kind of near the county shop up there. From what I understand, at the planning commission, this is to allow for a permit for a solid waste disposal site. From what I remember at discussions, it would be something as it was being described as something kind of like Republic Services, only on a much larger scale for larger trucks with larger loads. And then the waste being shipped down to the stuff that, again, needed to be shipped out to the warehouse. Anyone from T&K here to speak? All right, thank you. I know we heard everything at the planning commission, but you guys just kind of stand up again, state your names, and then kind of what the little spiel is going on here. I mean,
Hi, my name is Krista. It's my husband Travis. He gets kind of shy talking in front of people, so.
Oh, it's okay.
just a
No,
quick
just
spiel again. Yeah, I mean, what you guys got going on?
We
out
just,
there?
purchased the waste management transfer station, back in April. And we've been working on permitting with the DNR and such, to be able to open it up to the public. There's some things I did, give that we need to do, DNR specifications that are required. Some of those things, if you drove past, you'll notice there's not a sign yet. We kind of don't want to put the cart before the horse because things are expensive and we wanted to make sure that you guys approve of this before we really dive in more than we already are. We'd like to just take waste for this county and, surrounding close by and get it out of here and take it to Weyerhaeuser. Since Thompson's closed, we don't have anywhere, nobody up here. You have the small transfer stations, but our roll-off companies like ourselves and Boulder Hill and Tony G, they don't have a place to go other than driving all the way to Weyerhaeuser. Surrounding this would be able to let them work more effectively, much more cost effective for them to be able to dump here right in Hayward and us take care of it and transfer it to Weyerhaeuser.
Now, again, just what you said there, I mean, in the notes here from the planning commission too, it says you guys you're saying something about DNR certification. I mean, it says you are DNR certified.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, we had to get that first. That had to be the very first thing.
Okay. And again, there's already existing structures and stuff on site that right now is just, again, the use to be able to start using that for stuff like that, solid waste. Again, can you maybe describe a couple of the items, like what the usual kind of stuff you guys are looking at?
Typical load would consist of mainly construction debris in this area.
Okay.
But it could be, if somebody's folks passed away, they might clean out the entire house. So anything and everything that's in a house.
Yeah.
It's kind of the,
No hazardous.
no hazardous
All the
waste.
loads will be gone through before they're dumped. We'll recycle.
The no hazardous waste is a DNR standard. I mean, technically, they don't even allow hazardous waste at the landfills.
Right.
So, would open the doors for contractors in the area with dump trailers and whatnot, pick up loads.
So again, mostly construction
Yeah.
stuff. Okay. Does anyone else on the board have any questions for the applicants? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so again, this place is already zoned industrial. And they're looking for the conditional use to do this type of taking care of construction waste and all this kind of stuff. So I guess I'll put it on the board or the table to see what the board would like to do.
I make a motion that we approve the conditional use permit to be used as specified. We have a DNR issued permit, and they also said they had to do some type of road mitigation at the planning commission too, so they've really done their due diligence.
I'll
Okay.
second that.
We have a motion and a second to approve the conditional use permit for T&K roll-offs, item 7F on the agenda. This would be a conditional use to be able to use it as a solid waste disposal site. Any further discussion? Give a call to the vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
All right. Number 8, we have a highway report. Mr. Lang, our highway supervisor, he's not able to join us this evening. Guess if anyone has any questions, we'll try to answer them.
I'd just like to comment that our new roads look awesome. They are, what a
They
relief.
feel awesome.
You feel awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. And I've been looking at the work they've been doing on the culverts and that as well. Just going along nicely.
I'm not here, they're gonna do this stress culvert. You're gonna have to get out there and watch them.
I will.
I know you like it. No, I know you.
One of the ones that I was curious about is the one right over here on Airport Road.
We'll talk about that some other time.
Some other time.
All right,
Could I ask, do you know anything about the rat problems that's mentioned? I understand that these are,
I don't know if they're talking muskrat.
is it muskrat?
That's what when I saw that, when I saw beaver / rat, I kind of thought muskrat initially, but they'll build houses and stuff and put stuff up, so that's what I was thinking.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, that's definitely on that one. All right, and then we have fire department monthly report from Mr. Hamlin. He has graced us with his presence if anyone has any questions. Does anyone have any questions?
Just want to note that the annual pancake breakfast is planned for August 3rd, so pass the word on that so they can.
Let's get the word out. And
Is it here?
I believe so.
Yes, you're
Always here.
in the hall.
Okay. Do they need any donations as far as food or is that all taken care of?
We got the food taken care of. If anybody wants to come and flip pancakes, you're welcome to.
Are you doing a raffle again?
Yes.
And do you have enough raffle items?
I believe we're still looking for more.
Thank you.
All right, moving on, item 11, we have the police department report from Police Chief John Costerman, and again, he is not able to make it tonight, so if anyone has any questions, we can do our best to try to answer them. I think, and just a quick note to everyone, I'm sure you've all heard about it, there was on his Friday here, 6/21/24, there was a pretty bad car crash with a bunch of youths under the age of 20, and one person I believe was dead, and the other two were airlifted up with severe injuries, and the other one I think might be awaiting some type of charges. So it's all kind of a mess, and hopefully again the young people who are in the area realize that although you may feel invincible, you are not. So
Very tragic.
all right, no questions about that. We'll move on. Number 12, Facilities Planning Committee. Okay, so from what I understand, now we have nothing going on because we haven't done anything yet with the facilities. No reassessment. The last I've heard is that we can potentially act on the contract that we're looking to sign for reassessment, hopefully this week, because we do have a special town meeting of the electors on Thursday, 6:30. And right now, tentatively, maybe, I don't know if this is the time to talk about it or not, but we're trying to schedule another special board meeting after that meeting, if necessary. So at that special board meeting, we may be able to then sign that contract with Krause Anderson to start the reassessment process, okay? So that would be the timeline. Right now, it's not ready to go, but hopefully, everything will work out where we can do that on that day. And then we can start getting, once we get information in, then the facilities planning committee can meet and digest that information and start, coming up with ideas. So that's where we're at yet on the facilities planning committee. Does anyone have any questions about that in the audience? Since this is a hot button issue in the country.
That mean or illness requirements?
24 hours. And we're gonna talk about that before adjournment about trying to look at kind of time and dates for that, so. All right. Number 13, old business, Hardwood Hills. Bryn, fill us in on that, please.
We're trying to dedicate that road for to the town, and Rob and I went up to the courthouse today to register deeds, but we're missing one step, so we have to take it until August. We have all the stuff from the owners, like 5 of the 6 steps. So we have one more step to do, and then register deeds, and then work needs to approve it, and then we know. That's.
The town road.
Yeah. And it's already paid. I know. is that, I don't know. Those are all questions for Rob, but we had approved all of this prior, and
Yes.
we can't.
Yeah, again, this is before
This was, yeah.
our time out with the new board, being a 5-person board and everything too, so.
And he's done a beautiful job with it. Yes.
And again, at this point, we can take on gravel roads anyway, that's, we still legally can, so, and we'll talk about that maybe at some point. So right now, we're gonna, I guess we're looking, I'm looking for a motion to table the Hardwood Hills until the August meeting.
I'll move that.
I have a motion.
I'll say that.
I have a motion and a second to table the Hardwood Hills tournament, its dedication into a town road. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Motion tabled. Number 14, under new business, we have some operators licenses. These are what, 3-year bartender's license.
And they're all okay from John.
John gave them all thumbs up, the smiley face, okay. All right.
Did I miss a 10?
Well, no, you didn't miss 10. I guess I missed 10, except that, again, we don't really have a monthly report. Even to, well, okay. I guess I've been reading that the whole time too, as my planning commission was.
We need to
Thank you.
accept it.
We'll go back to number 10, planning commission, monthly report. Again, Mr. Kerner's not here, and we have our monthly report here. And are there any other questions about it? Okay, thank you. So, yes, Gabrielle.
I just got a question on, we had this signing, the rezoning for the sign for the Tamarack, for the hospital.
Yes.
Have we made any headways on that?
So, at the last county board meeting, there were members from the town board who spoke, and the zoning committee, Story County zoning, or the Story County board sent it back to the zoning committee. And I believe it was just either today or yesterday, I think it was today, I was notified, the town was notified by Jay Kozlowski, the zoning administrator, that the request for the rezone to industrial has been withdrawn. And that he hinted that there may be a sign variance request in the future. But, so it is officially withdrawn, and it will not even be on the zoning committee meeting in July.
Okay, thank you.
How about the trees you see sign? Weeds.
All right, now we're moving to number 14, operators licenses. Everything's, I guess, met the level of approval with our chief of police.
I'll make the motion to accept it.
We have a motion.
I'll second.
We have a motion, a second, to approve item 14, operators licenses for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 individuals. I will not name all the names. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Monthly vouchers, number 15. I think we've already completed that part of it.
Approval.
We have a motion to approve the monthly vouchers.
I'll second.
Who got there first?
Oh.
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve the monthly vouchers. Any further discussion on those? All right, we'll call to a vote. All those in favor? All those opposed? Ladies. All right, number 16, budget review. Anyone have any questions from reviewing the budget? If not, I'll entertain a motion at any time. We need one.
I have a question. We talked about using park and recreation money. That's in CDs right now. Or would there be a penalty if we took money out of there?
I don't know that answer, I don't.
Usually it would be.
I'll have to sample that. So I don't have tax money. Right.
What is the balance of the tax? We're,
Yeah. We have park money. So we have funds available.
And that's liquid. It's not title. Anybody else? Entertain a motion, any question?
Budget.
I'll second that motion.
I have a motion and a second to approve item 16, the budget review and budget. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Now, before we adjourn, just again, to make sure everyone in the room knows, we do have a special town meeting scheduled for 6:30 on July 11th, this Thursday. There's one item on the agenda, and that is for the electors of the town of Hayward to either authorize or not the town of Hayward from purchasing land. And it's on Linden Road, across the road from the town of Hayward boat access there. So the idea of purchasing this land would probably be to turn it initially into a parking lot, and eventually, my idea would maybe have the other part of it turning into some type of a park pavilion type thing for people to picnic or whatever. So that's where we're at right now. I encourage anyone who's interested in that, show up at the town meeting, and there'll be a vote by the electors. And then we are thinking about, well, since we have to do things 24 hours before, we're gonna probably schedule a special town meeting and town board meeting and a special planning commission meeting, because the planning commission has to approve this too. So I've already talked to the planning commission chair, and we're gonna try to schedule a special planning commission meeting for somewhere around 5 o'clock or so on Friday, and then the special town board meeting to happen probably around 5:30 that day. So this way, then it would be the day after the town meeting, but we're gonna have to schedule that no matter what the town meeting. It's gonna be on, we're gonna have to schedule, get our agendas out 24 hours before. So we're gonna be doing that before the special town meeting that happens on Thursday. So that is the idea. So again, if the electors decide to authorize the town to purchase that property, we're gonna try to move on it very quickly and move on it on the next day and close it. So, on this issue too, does anyone have any questions in the audience? Yes.
couldn't we schedule a special town meeting now and have it follow that meeting if we schedule it?
We need the planning commission to
We
vote
were
on this too.
talking about doing that, but then after we hear back from our attorney today, we do have to have a special planning commission.
Yeah.
So,
They can't.
Well, that's the thing. I just talked to Mark today. She's the planning commission chair. Again, having a special planning commission meeting and a special board meeting on this after a special town meeting, I think might be too many meetings in one night. And I don't know how long everything's gonna run, so I thought we'd have the special town meeting of the electors on Thursday night at 6:30. And then that gives us a day to prepare for the special planning commission meeting and the special town or board meeting if needed. We're gonna have to
which
item
is
those or
probably best,
notice them.
we'll have to, if we can't have everything ahead of time, not knowing the outcome. of-
Right.
Right.
If the meeting is 6:30
It has to
Thursday
be
night,
6:30
it'd
Friday.
have to be at least 6:30.
Right.
So what is the quorum on the planning commission? Being that we
You have to be,
have
I thought there's 6.
No, I think we can have it at 5:30 because we're calling it earlier, we're not calling it at 24 hour time. If we
We're noticing,
schedule it now,
if
we're
we,
fine for the 5 o'clock and the 5:30.
right, if we notice it at 24 hours before, I mean, again, before that 5 o'clock, then we're gonna be okay,
If we
even if that
publish,
special
we're
town
gonna
meeting
do it
happens at
tomorrow.
6:30.
Before the special.
Yeah,
Right.
and that's why I reached out to, I found Mark today and I said, we need to hear from him hopefully tomorrow or Thursday morning at the latest about trying to get a quorum of the planning commission together. Because they need to meet before the board does, and they need to have their say in this. So,
Right.
so everything's kind of crammed in timeline here, I understand that, but this is what we're trying to do to get this done as quickly as possible and in the right way.
And also the planning commission has to do due diligence and looking over the property.
Which they've already done.
But
They brought it up, but
I did.
yes.
I've heard good comments.
I'm sorry. I was pointing at Gabriella because she had her hand up, but then you're next. Gabriella, sorry.
Okay, Gabriel Bauer, 11154 Huckleberry Lane, Hayward. On the parking lot, I kind of just looking for some clarification. In which way is this in the future going to be financed? Because as far as I understand, for a parking lot, you do have a liability insurance, it has to be maintained, it has to be plowed, it has to be all this. Where is the maintenance money for this parking lot coming from in the future? Is there any plans to have perhaps a lockbox there where people have to pay a certain amount, like in other parks where you go, you need to put something in order to park your car, or is that going to be the responsibility of the town?
Well, and again, at this point, I mean, those are questions that I'd be happy to, have discussions on at some point in the future. At this point, like I said, from what I understand, this is a 1.5 acre lot that if the scenario that the town does purchase it, obviously our road crew are gonna go out there and make it into some type of a gravel parking lot so we can start parking stuff. And I don't know, going forward, I'm not sure again what more is gonna happen or what speed or anything else. So I mean, other than the cost of, turning that into a gravel parking lot, and then I don't know about the, about budgeting for future. There's also a Round Lake Property Owners Association, and I've had a contact with one of them. We were talking about at some point they wanted potentially to have water and sewer run to that. So I mean, because they want a decontamination station. So I mean, I'm sure everyone's gonna have an idea about what needs to be done, but and I'll tell you this, I'm new to this, but I'll be honest, I was on the fence with this whole thing when it came out. I was a little bit in the negative part of it. I have yet to meet one person or on the phone with anyone in the town of Hayward that is against it, and that's so confusing to me. Because I'm serious, everyone can find something to disagree upon, and I spoke today to someone who lives on Linden Road, like not that far down from there. And they thought it was a good idea for the parking lot. So I thought maybe someone who lived next there would not like it. So I'm just saying, it's perplexing to me. So.
Have you drove down there on a summer day?
Well, yeah, I have. So again, I understand. I have my own concerns about a lot of things. Again, with the cost of parks, all this stuff. I'm more of a park guy, but it seems that there's a need, and it seems that most of the residents who are willing to say something about it are all for it. And so to me, it's getting to be where it seems almost like, I don't see how this, I expect most of the people who show up on Thursday are gonna say yes, because I have yet to meet someone who said no.
Same here.
Upkeep on that one come from the road tax.
Yeah.
That's no different.
I mean, that's what the money's coming from to purchase it.
Right.
We have to use that money.
As far as money to help, there's a lot of trees there, so I'm sure that we would be selling the trees to make money to also go towards.
To defray the cost and everything.
To defray the cost of the construction.
And again, going forward, like I said, my initial idea for a lot that big, I don't feel like we should turn on the parking lot. It'd be nice to have some type of an area for people who actually either come to the lake or come off there and have them, like again, a pavilion, picnic table, maybe something in the future. But again, that's looking over the horizon for me. I'm just right now dealing with what's in front of us and trying to get through the next 8 months of the term, So I understand your concerns, and I mean, like right now, I think the cost of it would be minimal, considering what we're planning on doing. But going forward, the more stuff we add to it, the more cost is going to be incurred with maintaining it.
Is there a possibility for the special meeting that we have some kind of estimate what the cost would be? Because I'm sure there are some people that will ask that question. Like, I'm not living on Linden Road, so I'm not okay, it's not really my big concern, but there are a lot of people that don't live on Linden Road. I'm not saying we don't need it on Linden Road, but do we have some kind of answers to the questions that perhaps come up for the special meeting?
Well, and again, I will say this, and again, timelines are compressed, but I can, try to reach out to Rob Lang, who's a highway super, and just think, give me a rough idea of how many hours he thinks it's gonna cost, gonna take them to clear it to a parking lot, and then what they plan on doing maybe in the winter month. I mean, just a rough idea. Obviously, it's gonna be rough, but yes, I can, I'll make a note to talk to him, about that, and hopefully maybe have some answers before Thursday's meeting, so.
And is my assumption correct that there is a liability insurance that needs to be on the parking lot? I'm not sure if that is correct or
We'll
not.
just add it to our, I mean,
Into the normal insurance.
yeah, like the
Because we
town
already
forest parking lot is, I mean, it's all,
We already
Under one
have a
umbrella,
parking lot across the street.
right.
That's
Okay.
But I will,
We cover the boat landing liability.
Yes, ma'am.
I did go and actually walk around there, and there's very little parking for a boat, a truck and a boat trailer. And so what's happening is people are parking along the road itself. And to be honest with you, if there was an emergency, a fire truck could not get down to service those people.
right, there was something on the lake,
So-
down to the landing.
Yeah.
So that's,
There seems to be a need,
for
need.
EMS services, it really gets congested.
And the thing is, again, I know from my own experience that buying land is something that, once you buy it, there's a lot of things that you can do with it. You always sell it again, but once you sell a piece of land, you might as well say goodbye because you're never gonna see that piece of property again. So again, I'm not adverse to necessarily buying a piece of property. At this point, hearing all the feedback from everyone too, it's been, like I said, overwhelmingly one-sided, which is very surprising to me. So that's where we're going. Thursday, we have the special meeting, and we are going to set an agenda for a special town board meeting, hopefully around 5:30 on Friday, and the special planning commission meeting will be before that at 5 o'clock. So if you want to do both. So that's what we're planning on doing to deal with land on the road.
So I just one question for you, not about this, before we adjourn.
Yeah.
Did you want me to put, a report in for the meetings at the golf club?
Would you like to?
I'll do it. If you want to hear about the greens and.
You want to do it?
I hear about that.
You want to do it? You want it on next month's agenda, or you want to do it? Okay.
Just put it on next month's agenda
Okay.
and I'll see what kind of things are,
Okay.
be interesting to the board.
Yes, it would be interesting.
Because-
Yes, just to get an idea.
I didn't understand that Ward Williamson is the city rep and I'm the town rep.
Yeah.
And we actually have an interest in what's going on. And I thought the fireworks were pretty awesome. But I think we could pass a hat and pay for them rather than have to tell people for them. Just,
Well, that's, we'll talk about that for
That's
next
another
4th of
thing.
July. I have a feeling.
exactly.
One other thing I want to bring up before the adjournment, next month our board meeting was scheduled for, what, I believe, August 13th. That is election. Now, Brenda said that we can have our meeting that day, but then she will not be present. So
You guys being here, I'll be out there.
now, I don't know how convenient it is for her either, but if we want Brenda to be present at our next month's board meeting, we're gonna have to change our date. And after conferring with her, it might be best if the planning commission meets on the 7th, our option is to meet on the 8th. So this is something I'm proffering up to the board right now to consider, do we want to do our regularly scheduled August board meeting for the 13th, minus our clerk? Or do we want to change it to Thursday the 8th at the same time, 7 p.m., and try to have her present?
Is that enough time to have the minutes?
We,
We'll get a rough draft.
and
Could it be
And-
Thursday,
We will probably
the
still do a lot
15th or whatever?
election wise.
the whole week is.
I'd rather not do
Yeah.
this.
Okay.
So it's that's why
So
that's why we picked that date. And again, we used to have the planning commission one day before the town board meeting in the past, so we can scramble for 1 month if that will make sure we have a full complement of people at the board meeting, is my opinion. So that's why we worked out this contingency. So I thought I'd proffer that to the board to see what the board thinks about that, and if anyone has a problem with that scheduling at the moment.
A motion?
I don't know if we need a motion, I just want to discuss it while we're all here and in session, so we're not, discussing it outside and violating some type of records law or anything like that, so I'm just trying to discuss it right now. So Friday the 8th, I'm sorry, Thursday,
Oh,
August 8th,
okay. I can't be here.
Okay,
Just,
you can Zoom.
no, I won't be here. It'll be a big top to talk about. I already
Well-
bought my tickets.
And again, I know this is extenuating circumstances with the election and everything too, but as long as I can get two, I'll take at least two. Okay? Yeah, three would be better than two, but just in case.
Okay.
All right, well, I'm always here, I don't go anywhere, so. All right, so we have a consensus that we're gonna have our August meeting. Anyone else in the audience who wants to take notes? August meeting is gonna be on August 8th at 7 PM, and it's Thursday. So, a little odd next month. Is there any other business or anything else that the board would like to bring up before we adjourn? Anybody in the audience? All right. I'm looking for a motion to adjourn this.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn our July monthly board meeting for the town of Hayward. All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Meeting adjourned.